Good evening. It's July 21st. Welcome to the Alan Osborne Show. Look who we've got behind us. This is the center of the new Good Old Boy Network. These are the people that want to represent you. The sheriff does represent you, but you know who's standing back there? Chuck Wilder. I'm going to start going through things. I'm just going to leave your damn picture up here. If you're so damn proud of it, I'll leave it up on my show. Make you a star, all of you. I don't give a damn. Anyway, this came right off the sheriff's website, so, you know, it's pretty bad. This guy, Chuck Wilder, he can't pay his taxes for years and years and years, but he can loan money to his own campaign. He can loan money, have himself enough money to go buy stuff at auction and rebuild it, and he has enough money, I'll bet you, to make donations to Mikey. But what's interesting, I bet you he didn't make any donation to Boots, and he ran Boots' campaign. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you something else, Chuck. This is me talking to you, and anytime you want to face me and talk about it, I'll tell you the same damn thing to your face like I did at Freeport. Let me tell you something, folks. This has been in the works for a long time. And what we've got here is two members of Team Embarrassment of Walton County. That's right, Team Embarrassment. You've got the sheriff. The sheriff, after somebody was convicted of sexual harassment, I believe that he's put pressure on people to be silent, and he's used the position of his office to do it. Secondly, that person was left in charge of all our fire services, as I understand it, according to his leadership matrix. Go look at it. Go look and then go read the court verdict that's posted online. Guilty. Now, right there it tells you all you need to know about Mike Adkinson if you're a woman. That his employees can be convicted by a jury of their peers of sexual harassment, and in Mike's eyes, he'll be the judge and jury. And that person continues to work and supervise women. And I understand there's been other issues since then. If you're a deputy and you work for Mikey, you have the future to look ahead of and know that you might be a captain with 15 years of service and have completed everything and be ready to run the jail, only to find out that Mike hires his buddy and rewrites the job description requiring no law enforcement standards to run the jail, and hires him because he don't want to drive to Panama City and he's been in a lot of trouble and blah, 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 blah. He gives Corey Godwin, his lifelong friend, the job, who's not been in it for 16 years. You can't, and he does that over qualified people. So how does that make you feel? Because this is about the elected and connected. He's hand grooming. His PIO had Dustin Cosin all over that. Isn't that your cousin, Mikey? He's got a hand-paid PIO. He's got a massive PR budget. The first people to donate to Mike was his own leadership. Do you know what a self-licking ice cream cone is? That's what Mike is. And he's created a system around him that's full of crap. We have almost 60,000 voters in Walton County. And in the primary that Mike became the Republican nominee for sheriff, he didn't even get 3,000 votes. In fact, of the people that turned out in the primary, 60% of the people did not choose Mike. Think about it, folks. He can brag all he wants about winning in November. We don't hardly have any Democrats in Walton County. He still didn't pull all the Republican vote. You can't be a Trump person and like Mike. Mike ain't never deported anybody. The biggest thing we've got here in this nation is a border crisis. And who's contributing to that? People like Mike. When's the last time, remember when MS-13 tattoos showed up in Freeport on people walking around building stuff and it was all in social media? When did you see Mike warn us about that? When did he deport anybody? See, Mike can't. Because, you know, look, I'm running on $100. $100. I'm total grassroots. Mike's $80,000 ahead of me and Chief Murray. the opposition, and he's still out pandering developers. I hear he's about close to 140, maybe 150,000 now. Why would he need to do that when we got less than, I don't think both of us combined got 20 grand? Because he needs a PR machine to cover up some of this. He's got low morale. He's got too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And Mike's been running on he's got $100 million budget. I think when he went into office, probably about 40 or 50 million. So he's doubled his budget. He didn't show up until this year to BCC meeting over infrastructure and said that he and Russell Hughes had just figured out that they should start being more involved with the county commissions so they could have input on it. It took Mikey, 12 years, Mikey? 15 years to figure out Walton County was growing? This is bad. And look, his lucky Chucky. Chuck showed up with Nick in Freeport when I spoke at a Republican club probably close to a year and a half ago. So this has been in the works, Boots. They've been out to get you, and Chuck was the answer for Mikey. He's got to have 3 people on his board. So Chuck can't pay his taxes. He didn't show up to the Republican club. Chuck, let's have a debate. Hell, Mikey, let's have a debate. Mike's not going to have to debate anything. In fact, he rarely shows up. I would love to sit and debate Mike on any issue. I spoke at a Republican club opening. Was there? Nope. Was he at the Funiac? Nope. He was out pandering to developers and donors trying to pad his war chest. This is Washington, D.C. These are not conservatives. These are people that operate and spend more money than they need or have. These are Democrats. Mike was all for that 1% tax. You can bet on it. And for you people who are new to Walton County, let me give you some history lessons, okay? Because look, there's a lot of us that weren't, quote, born here. I've only been here 35 years or whatever, and been to 400 public meetings. I ain't never seen one at Chuck till he showed up wrongly trying to get on the planning board when he knew he wasn't authorized. You know why he wasn't authorized? Because he was cousins with the person who nominated him. And he knew it before he showed up, and he still came anyway. The latest game from him and racist Nick and his sidekick Tony, and I'll show you a picture of Tony and the sheriff. So, like I said, the corruption gang, or whatever they want to call the the bad quartet, they've all got something to hide. Chuck will delete you if you have public comments. And Mikey, he's sitting on my public records request, folks, and we're about to get a lawyer involved in it because he's not turning them over. Like I said, for you people who aren't familiar with what goes on in the county, Mikey's cousin Clay is the attorney for the BCC, but it was a temporary contract for 90 days, as we were told, that's lasted for almost 4 years. Now, the last county attorney, I think, made around 200 grand a year, but you know what Mikey's cousin charges us to be a temporary attorney? I think last year it was $870,000, and he's building a 12 or 13,000 square foot home. What is it, Clay? Folks, we're paying for this kind of leadership. You can't handle Chuck. Chuck's got everything to cover up. Chuck, tell them about what your friends are going to make if the waste transfer station's approved. See, Chuck's dancing around Chuck ain't never shown up at no dang meetings at the county. He's never showed up for anything except to try to put his hind end on the planning board. That's it. Like I said, you need to watch the video on Lucky Chucky. Go read the post about his tax liens. And how come Chuck, like most Democrats, that's how they act, he's spending all this money but can't pay his taxes? But you want to trust him with your tax money? The guy who can't pay his taxes? The guy who hired Chaz Galloway? They've all got Chaz Galloway stink on them. How do you get it off? Now look at this fine trio. Everywhere you see an Adkinson sign, you see an Anderson sign. Anderson don't want to answer. And neither does his shitbag son, Colby. I'm the one calling you that, Colby, because you're not his child. You're some man running around the community pushing people like David Buchanan. Hey, folks, if you're a veteran and you just moved to Walton County, Colby on the right there brought David Buchanan to run against Donna Johns, and the guy lied about being in the Gold Star family. He lied about that kind of shit. That's the kind of shit bag you are, Colby, in my opinion. A fucking shit bag who learned it from your daddy. Now, daddy's shit bag there who's destroyed the south end of the county, guess what he said at the Funiac the other night? He said that he had to approve all this development if it complied with the comp plan. Absolute bullshit. You know who told him that? Shipman, the same person who was hired Chaz for their campaigns. Hey, Tony, that's bullshit, because if something met the comp plan, and that's all that was, you couldn't Tony said he couldn't legally disapprove it. You absolutely can, Tony. It's called having a set of cojones and standing up and say, that's going to damage people that are around it. That's not compatible. We've voted down lots of things that comply before because you're the representative to make sure that the people's best interests are protected, and you can vote no. But according to Tony, he can't vote no. Well, you know why? Because Shipman's got his hand shoved so far up his posterior that that's the only way Tony's mouth works. But I'll tell you what Tony won't tell you. Here, Tony's got an ethics complaint on him, and it clearly shows that Tony was involved in those racial texts, and he took steps to cover it up. He says now, oh, I'm so ashamed of it. God bless Donald Trump. Tony, you didn't even like Donald Trump, right? You're just saying that. You are for sale, little man, and your time is up. You got to go. Barbara's way better than you, and I'm sorry, Dr. Z, but you're just clouding the waters. People, a vote for Dr. Z is helping keep Tony in office. Z's too late to the party. Tony wants Z in the race just to split votes with him so Barbara can't get him. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Folks, we don't need this kind of mess. They're all covering up. Now, so Nick's running from the racist comments. Mikey won't debate anybody. He won't turn over public records. He doesn't want you to know about the sexual harassment convictions or how unqualified. And then he went and got that same boy, Corey, a job at the Sheriff's Association. I wonder how many Florida sheriffs know that this guy was out of that for 16 years and Mikey made all his qualifications look right. Have you ever seen Graham Fountain? He couldn't run 50 feet. But when Mikey hired him, he couldn't meet standards. But I bet you Mikey certified his standards when Graham worked for the Sheriff's Department. In fact, he was in such poor health when he was elected as a commissioner. Imagine that, another Mikey cop in politics. When Graham was elected commissioner in Okaloosa, he had to quit because he could barely breathe. He said his health was so bad. Yet he's sponsoring Eric Aiden and Mikey and the whole, and he picks commissioners. In fact, when Aaron Murray ran in Walton County, Graham Fountain from Okaloosa County, who used to work for Mikey, told Aaron that he should have to ask him first. What does Jabba the Hutt, or he could be a stunt double for Grimace on McDonald's. This is ridiculous. Now I find out, I get an email on the Alan Osborne show that Jonathan Roberts has this horrible financial history with a court order, that said he defrauded his homestead exemptions. I mean, is everybody in this quartet of criminals that cannot manage money or they have something to cover up? I'm not talking about, they always say, Alan, you got this and this. I said, what did Alan do? Look, I don't always have the best of kin. You can't pick your kin. But I'm talking about what have these people do? Tony and them's got up there, and Tony got up there at the funeral and said, oh, it's awful, this social media stuff. And I said, I love social media. And everybody clapped. Tony doesn't like it because it's bad social media. And he said, this is embarrassing for kids and families. And I'm going to tell you pieces of shit this. Don't you ever shame us out here telling the truth. that your families are hurt? Because if your families are hurt, they're not hurt by my truth. They're hurt by your actions. If Trey and Tony and Mikey and all these people didn't have stuff to hide, then their families wouldn't be embarrassed over it. I'm not embarrassed over anything I've done, but I don't get it. This is what Trey did. This is what Tony did. This is what Chucky did. This is Mikey's covering up. And apparently Jonathan Roberts too. And their connection, a lot of them, is shipment. Have y'all had enough of this? Do you people that live in Walton County that lived here for 5 generations or have lived here 5 months and you're a voter? Do you want these people in charge of your money? We are a well-off county. No kid should be going without food. We shouldn't have anybody that needs to play baseball somewhere. But our litigation matrix is packed full of corruption. You know who? And all you locals who wish you got better paying jobs, well, we wouldn't have had explosive growth except Mikey allows enough illegal border crossing people to live in the community to keep his developer friends happy and building faster than we should. Outbuilding our infrastructure that Tony says he cannot disapprove. You can't make this up because of you locals that are out there in the skills trade. These houses would breathe the same money, but these middlemen, developers, and contractors who have all this illegal labor that they're out here brokering around, these are the people that help them get away with it. Mikey, Tony, ain't no investigations. And you think Mikey's cousin Dustin's going to investigate anything Mikey doesn't tell him to? That boy's not going to take a dump unless Mikey commands him to, and Mikey believes that. Folks, we don't need this kind of, if you lived here forever or you just moved here, Adkinsons are running the county, and we're all paying $870,000. Oh, by the way, Clay's just not the BCC attorney. He's a Freeport attorney. He's the TDC attorney. I mean, you just can't make this up. He's Paxton's attorney. He's DeFuniak's attorney. So this is how it'll be. Just imagine this conversation. Hey, city of DeFuniak. This is the BCC lawyer. Okay, hold on. And he picks up the phone and goes, "This is Clay. Go ahead." "Well, Clay, this is Clay. I just want to know, are you cool if I do this? Do you think we'll get investigated?" And Clay says, "I don't know. Let me call my cousin." "No, the sheriff's not going to investigate me in that seat or in this seat. How about that?" Yeah, folks, you can't make this up. It's wide and deep how connected this is, and we don't have a level playing field. And for once in a long time in Walton County, you can go into the voting booth. Listen to this 35-year DOD veteran, okay? I went all over the world, including on 9/11 in this country, to bring you so you can sleep well at night. You'll sleep better when these people are gone. And, you know, like I said, I'm not after all the people running for office. I think Aaron Murray is a more than fit replacement for Mike. And I hope that's who I'm running against come November. Because we need to break up the corruption gang right here. The can't meet standards games. I mean, it's getting bad. But I want you to see these people out there. Don't forget Lucky Chucky. And I don't care if these people don't like it. You should have seen Trey hiding through the door. Trey, we notice nobody's with you. We know you're all by yourself. We see them. Listen to me, Trey. It's not going to stop. I don't care what y'all threaten. Did you like when Trey, if y'all haven't seen my video about Trey Nick called himself the Mullet Mafia? Well, when those texts first came out, Suzanne Harris got a rooster's head sent to her. Did you see Mike down there investigating that? No, he investigated that like he did the people shooting through my house. Not at all. Because he knew where that came from. It came from the Mullet Mafia, is my guess. Intimidation. Don't take the bait. Fear. Not worth worrying about. Do the right thing. August 20th. Go in that booth and pull the trigger and flush all 4 of these. Get rid of Tony. Get rid of Mikey. Don't elect Chuck, and don't elect Trey. That's the mission. Those 4 have got to go, and we'll have a better future for Walton County. The truth is going to set our tax dollars free. We're making enough tax dollars. Ask Gary Greger. We're in good shape. It's these people squandering it and squandering our resources and lying to our faces with the control of information and every one of them is trying to limit us in speech. And you know what's really been hilarious lately, folks? That none of the candidates, when given 3 minutes by boards, can make their point. But those same people that want to be in office want to limit your speech in public that's usually about your house or your lifestyle. They want you to tell them your position in 3 minutes unless you're a lawyer. I didn't know it's not a court. I didn't know in a BCC meeting that a Juris Doctor degree bought you more free speech than the average citizen. But with these clowns, it does, and it's got to stop. In fact, Chuck Wilder is hinting that he's going to keep us from speaking 3 minutes. You're not going to I'm going to hijack your ass, Chuck. How dare you tell people we're not going to talk? You know why you're saying that, Chuck? Because your sorry fat hind end has never served his country. Not a bit. You don't even serve it when you pay your taxes. Yeah, I'll tell this to your face. God. Don't you want to just die at the hypocrites who've never served a soul? You don't. Hey fellas, I took scouts to camp. I coached ball. Where's this stuff for the community? When did y'all go to meetings and do anything that didn't promote your own hind end? The answer is never. Now, come on, people, get passionate. Take back this country. Don't let these Republicans in name only hold office and then not act like conservative. Let's hold them responsible. I'm Alan Osborne, and you can't make this shit up, but you can tell the truth. And like Plato said, the people who tell the truth will be the most hated, and that's okay with me. You know what I mean, Bird? Till next time, I'm Alan Osborne.